Hello everyone, it's time for Tami's Take here on the Crown City Network. My voice is a little different today. I'm fighting the cold. Please bear with me. It's not as high energy as usual, but that's okay. I'll be Hillary-like today. Tami's Take is the crossroads of politics and pop culture. I'm Tami Devine. This is my take. Take it or leave it. I hope you'll take it to heart. November 8th is Election Day. It's almost here. We just recently had the final presidential debate between Trump and Clinton. It's been a very exciting and controversial presidential campaign, hasn't it? Yes, it has. Things have been crazy. But first off today, we'll talk about the final debate, who won. Then Trump says he'll wait and see about accepting the results if he loses. Some people have lost their minds over that. Then we'll discuss the Second Amendment to wrap it all up. Will Hillary come for the guns if she wins? With me to chat about all of this is Trump Millennial Outreach guy, Jay Chase. Thanks for being with me, Jay. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You're an actor, you're in entertainment and all that good stuff. So how does that happen for you, a young guy, to be a Republican, I'm assuming?
I support Donald Trump.
Okay. And you don't accept the Republican mantle.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
I don't specifically align myself with either party. I go over each candidate and I decide which candidate best fits my needs, and that's the candidate that I align myself with.
Can I do the faux pas and ask how old you are?
22.
22, real young guy. Good, good. That's awesome that you're still plugged in. Are you finding people your age plugged in?
Many of them, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
but
a lot of them.
Not enough.
A lot of them are like me. I was never into politics, but because of Donald Trump, that's what really sparked my interest. That's what really got me into this and got me studying everything.
What made you so excited about him?
It has to be because he's a businessman and a successful businessman. I am too. I'm an actor, but I'm a businessman too. I've had a company since I've been 12 years old, and I know what it takes to build a company, and it's not easy. And it's not easy to build a successful one.
It's not easy
for
at all.
him to have done what he's done, I think the country needs to be ran like a business.
Okay, I'm going to keep us rolling, but just one quick note for you. Let's try not to make your chain hit the desk, because we want to hear you and what you have to say, okay? All right, so you think it's time for the country to be run like a business?
Yes, we continue to put politicians in office that have not had successful lives in their own life. I mean, they talk about, I can do this and I can do that for the American people, but they haven't been able to do it in their own lives.
You told me something about Bernie Sanders that I didn't know just now.
Bernie Sanders is $62,000 in credit card debt.
But I did not know that.
But then he says, I know how to handle $19.6 trillion in debt. If you can't handle $62,000, how are you going to handle $19.6 trillion?
Well, who says that? What a nightmare. Sorry, guys.
Anyway, I just don't feel, I feel if someone has the answers for success, I feel like they're going to be able to do it on their own, that they're going to displace success instead of saying, I know how to do it, without actually ever doing it.
Right. And that's really interesting, because now he's stumping for Hillary. And if he's going for Hillary, you know, it's really interesting because doesn't he look kind of defeated? I mean, he was defeated by Hillary, but think about it. He was saying that he was the outsider. She was establishment. He is for Wall Street, or she's for Wall Street. He's not for Wall Street. And now he and all his supporters are supposed to be going for this establishment Wall Street person. I don't know. The story doesn't kind of work for me there, and I wonder if that's the same for a lot.
No, it doesn't work for me either. It's amazing that he actually endorsed her after how hard he fought against her. He put up a good fight, he really did, and he fought to the very end. And honestly, after the DNC leaks, it shows he should have had the nomination, and he would have had the nomination if the DNC hadn't have colluded against him.
The WikiLeaks, okay, all right, we got to go on. So let's talk about the debate, okay?
Okay.
The third debate was held this week at University of Nevada in Las Vegas. As usual in a debate, lots of finger pointing going on, accusations, of course. You know, that tends to happen. So one of the things, of course, that they talked about was the whole Trump and the sexual assault thing. When you hear that from other millennials your age and other, anyone. How do you refute that? Because, that seems to be one of the things that knocks Republicans off message and off the trail usually. They usually end up losing whenever Gloria Allred trots out her, victims. So how do you refute that?
Look, that was 11 years ago, and it's nothing more than a distraction. That is the only thing that they have to go against him on. And I think it's amazing that they keep pushing that because, it was 11 years ago. His life has changed tremendously since that time. He's had another child. His business has changed. People do change, okay? What he said was comments, not actions. Bill Clinton, on the other hand, has displayed actions, disgraceful actions as a sitting president.
Well,
and then not only did he display actions, but then he lied in the face of every American, and then had to recant that and then apologize. So
Lost
no.
his law license for perjuring himself about that.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything at all compared to what Bill Clinton did. It's nothing more than a distraction.
But the other side always says that the argument is that it's Hillary running for president, not Bill. So Bill can be as, debauched as he wants to be, but Hillary is the, supposedly pristine one running for office and who is not involved with these sexcapades.
Hillary has said many times that she will have Bill doing certain things, and she actually stated one time, I'll have Bill in charge of the economy. So, and the way a lot of people have said, it's a 2-for-1. You vote for Hillary, you get 2. So whether or not it's just Hillary, you really can't separate the two because they have always been a team.
He says that Donald Trump says that Hillary and Obama are responsible for creating ISIS. A lot of people think that's way over the top to say.
People are taking that way over the top. What he means by that is they created ISIS by doing nothing about it. By the way they handled Iran and Iraq, they did nothing to stop it. They created the formation and they allowed it to form because they did nothing to stop it.
I see. That's how you think. That's how you're taking it, and that's how you're telling it to other people. Okay, so who won the debate?
Oh, Donald Trump won, without a doubt.
Did he win all of them in your mind?
Oh, absolutely he did.
I'm a Trump supporter, but I think that Hillary won the first debate. I think that Donald was a little timid and wasn't quite sure how to approach it, didn't know whether to take all the gloves off or not, so he kind of treated her with kids' gloves, and she ran all over him. I think he wised up in the second debate, and in the third debate, it was all-out war between the three. I think he probably won the second and the third, but I don't think he won the first. But you say
I say he won all 3 of them.
Yeah. Well, you're also, for the campaign, so I understand.
Well, he in the third debate, he outlined his policy, and I think he connected with the American people in a way that Hillary has never been able to connect at all. And the snap polls confirmed that he won the debate, and I think he did an outstanding job.
It probably depends on what poll you're looking at, because there are a lot of online polls. I think what ended up happening was that for the first and second debates, all of the online pollsters were heavily in Trump's camp, and they went on and Trump won all of the online polls. In the third debate, I think Hillary people were like, we're not going to let that happen again. So in the third debate, I saw a lot of polls that had Hillary actually winning, and I think probably the Hillary people wised up that all of the Trump people were always online voting. They're like, we're going to do it too. So do you trust the polls about Hillary? I had 9, I had 11, I had
No,
whatever.
I don't trust the polls.
Why not?
I don't pay attention to the polls because I talk to a lot of people, and the support is amazing. He has a lot of support that people, they don't vocalize it, but he does. He has a lot of support, and it depends on who you poll. If you're polling Democrats who have always voted Democrat and are continuing to vote Democrat, it's a little different. You're going to get those results. So it all depends on who.
Yeah, a lot of those polls are so weighted. Like there was one poll that had like 34% more Democrats than Republicans. Of course you're going to get,
Right.
So you really have to look at the fine print, I think, in a lot of those polls to figure out where we really are.
We had, in the Dewey-Truman election, Dewey led the entire time. He was always winning. Truman didn't have a chance.
And that's a famous paper, right?
The famous paper.
Said Dewey wins.
Right, but Dewey lost.
Right.
So no, I don't trust the polls. I don't look at the polls. I don't go by that.
Well, when you look at the rallies, that alone makes me question that the polls have Hillary so far ahead. She struggles to get sometimes 1,000 people in a room.
Oh, she can't. She can't.
Or sometimes even more than 300 in a room.
She can't attract the crowds that Mr. Trump attracts. She can't attract the excitement that he attracts. I've been to several rallies, and it's amazing to see there are thousands and thousands
sometimes
of
10,000,
people.
sometimes 20, 25,000.
And the majority of them can't even get in because there's no space.
Right, yeah.
So they're outside.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's talk about the Trump saying, whether he's going to transfer power peacefully or allow the peaceful transfer of power or whatever if Hillary wins. A lot of people are really losing their minds over that he's not just going to accept whatever the result is.
Well, he's never said that he won't accept them. He says that he wants to see at that time what the results are and the way everything looks. I mean, you have
that seems logical to me.
I
don't understand.
And
really
you have to understand with the email leaks and the shown corruption inside the DNC, I mean, anybody would not just, I don't know anybody that would just accept those results when there has been so many case after case of corruption, why someone would just automatically accept those anyway until they can fully see everything.
And plus,
but he has never said he won't accept the results.
Plus, when you go back over several elections, the George Bush, Al Gore election, I mean, Democrats were like, this is rigged, this is wrong, this is, we got to fight this, and all of that. And it was fought, in court, and it came out the way it was. But for a lot of the Democrats and liberals to be like, how dare he, this is outrageous, I'm horrified, seems a little bit over the top to me, because they were doing the same thing with the George Bush election. And even Hillary herself said, what did she say? He was selected, not elected, right? So I'm not quite sure where all the angst is coming from there. If he, especially in light of those videos that came out in the mainstream media, ABC, NBC, CBS, you will not find these stories about those videos of those campaign guys, totally connected to the campaign, saying, yes, we pay mentally ill people to go and start fights at the Trump rallies. These videos exist, and those people have been fired. That, to me, tells me that those videos are true. Because if they were not true, those people would not have been fired, I don't think. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no, they don't report those things, and that's why, because they're trying to put a cap on it, because they don't want that to get out into the mainstream. They don't want people to know about those things.
I don't understand why the left is not screaming about the use of mentally ill people to go start fights and homeless people. That just seems like
because it benefited them.
So horrible to me.
Because it benefited them, and it's them that orchestrated it. That's why it is what they can do to achieve power or help their agenda, and they don't care about people, and they don't care about who they're hurting to get what they want. I mean, it's just, and it shows. You can see through actions. I mean, actions are a lot louder than words and comments, and you can see by the things they've done, and you can see the things that Hillary has done. I mean, the things Hillary has done, she has sold out the American people over and over again in her positions of power, okay? Hillary may have 30 years experience, as she says, okay, but if you have 30 years experience, but it's bad experience, what good is that? I would rather have someone who has no experience, but might actually be able to do a good job, than someone who has experience, but has done horrible at what they've done.
Barack Obama, anybody? I know, he's the first black president. A lot of people want him to be in there because he's the first black president, but he did not have all of that experience, as they're saying. So I can hear what you're saying there. The Second Amendment. I don't know how much longer my voice is going to go, but apparently, Donald Trump is saying really Hillary is going to try and really get rid of the Second Amendment, and she says she's in support of it. So how do you defend him?
Well, now she's in support of it, but as soon as she has another private speech, she'll be against it. That's how Hillary is. She's for something one second, as she said, you have to have a public appearance, and then you have to have a private appearance. You have to have your own separate views on different situations, publicly and privately. So what Hillary says, I don't even look at what she says, because she has over and over again that what she says and what she believes in doesn't mean anything. For instance,
people call Trump a liar too, though. You know, so how do you defend him on that?
I don't see him as a liar. I see him. He has been honest from the beginning. He has never. When he was asked in the beginning of this election if he would take the pledge and support the Republican nominee, he raised his hand and said he would not take the pledge. So I would deem a liar as someone who would say, "Yeah, I'll take the pledge," and then not back the person, like Ted Cruz did.
Like Ted Cruz.
Right.
Ouch. Ooh.
So,
we'll end it on that dig on Ted Cruz. Thank you so much for talking. Oh, how do people get in touch with you? And
you can follow the. It's at Young CA for Trump, the Millennials page for Trump, and you can also follow at CA for Trump.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jay, for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And solo shot. No, solo shot over here. Which one? Okay, this one. Good. That's it for Tammy's Take here on the Crown City Network. Tammy's Take is the crossroads of politics and pop culture. I'm Tami Devine. The things that you heard Jay say, that was his take. The things I said, that was my take. Take it or leave it. I hope you'll take it to heart here on Crown City Network. Join us next time.